Yes. And then for...
I am also here.
I mean, how do I go there?
Yeah, how do we do this?
Let me send you guys the link.
Yeah, guys, on your right, you have the link that Fabio has shared.
Correct. Perfect.
Oh, I'm there. Okay, let's close the...
Guys, but my video is not working for some reason.
Good.
Okay, let's close this one.
I'm not sure I can access. My video is not working for some reason.
Yeah, my video is not working either.
Yeah.
What should we do? It worked last night. I'm not sure why now.
Okay, let's ask Daniela.
Yeah.
Hi. This is Daniela here. How?
Hi,
I'm here to support and in support. So yeah, let me know how can I help.
Yes, please. So it's Anahit speaking, and I cannot turn my video on for some reason.
Hi, this is Grace from Juno. If you try refreshing your page and see if that works for the camera to work.
Yeah, I think it does now.
Yep, we can see you now. That's kind of the go-to for any, if there's the sound or the video's not working, just try quickly refreshing your page and it usually works after that. Oh, no.
The sound
it still doesn't work.
Is your, on the very bottom of the screen, do you see the little camera icon? Is it on, does it say on or off?
Yeah, it says on.
Okay, let's see. Can you try clearing your your cookies or your cache in your browser? Are you using Google Chrome actually?
Yes.
Okay. Can you try clearing your cache really quick and see if that helps?
All right, guys, you go on with the prep because
okay.
Yeah, Radu run the thing. So I'll try.
Well, I'm trying to share my screen, but I'm not sure if it works because I see my face instead of seeing my screen. Oh yeah, publishing your desktop.
You will see both.
Yeah, well, I don't.
Yeah, we see it, Radu.
You do?
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't. I just see a black screen. What do you see?
We can't hear you.
I see your screen.
Sorry?
I do see your screen, but Daniela, the way I've seen this in all the different breakout rooms I've been visiting today, I see the camera with everybody's face, and then a small corner, I see the PowerPoint, but it's not readable, it's too small.
If
you can click the enlarge, the one with two arrows.
Yes, exactly. So there is an option to expand the screen on the bottom right corner. So normally it would be best if you tell people to do that. And whenever someone is presenting, that the rest should be muted and should be with their camera off so that people in YouTube can also see the screen.
And now, Radu and Daniela, I see your PowerPoint now, but not as a slideshow. So I see a bunch of other things around it.
In that case, the person presenting needs to put in presentation mode, I think.
Yeah, but I would like to see what I'm. Maybe I need to quit Chrome for some reason. It could be.
Present. No, click on present.
Yeah, no, I know how to do it.
Oh, perfect. That's perfect. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, then it's fine. As long as you see it, it's fine. I don't. So.
If you go, if you
Radu,
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
if you have maybe run it. I understand your problem. So run it on your phone so that you can see the next slide for yourself.
I don't know. I printed them. Don't worry. That I don't.
Okay,
I don't
great.
need to worry. Yeah, I've got the slides printed so I can follow them. But I would like to see when you are talking that following my. Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. Sharing this tab. Okay, fine. Let's go through the presentation because we only have 12 minutes left. So this is the waiting slide. I was wondering if I can put music, if you can hear it.
Let's try that.
Do you hear it?
No.
Okay, Bob.
I think that's fine. Colleagues, I realize there is an important decision we need to make. We didn't think about it. So what we want this to show, always the PowerPoint or our faces, or shall we alternate? Because we are starting with an opening slide. So I think that for my introduction, we should, rather I think as when I start speaking, I think that the PowerPoint should go off so that people can see my face. But also maybe, what do you think, colleagues? Shall we all leave our camera on, or shall we only leave the camera on the person who's speaking in that moment? I would suggest one camera on at the time, because otherwise it's a little small for people who are following.
But I don't know if Daniela can help, but usually if you share the screen, you don't see any of the faces, right? You only see the screen shared.
Yeah, this is why I said when somebody speaks and we decide that it should be on camera, the PowerPoint should go down.
Yeah. Daniela, I'm sorry, but it still did not work. I cleared all the cache.
Let me check this. I'm checking it out right now. Just give me one moment.
Thanks.
Okay.
Okay. Do you still see my screen when I'm moving back to this? Do you still see the tab with the Mentimeter?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. With the first slide.
Yes, the slide. No, the slide. Okay. So this is the waiting slide. It seems that music doesn't seem to be working unless it is on. I think if I share this one, then it will work. But anyway,
Ellie, so we are not seeing you. Ellie, if you're there, I cannot hear if you're trying to speak, and I cannot see you.
Yeah, I don't think she's.
Now I can see you, Ellie. Can you speak?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Now, yes. Hear and see. Yeah.
Okay, so no music because I need to share the YouTube, which I don't want to show. I want to show the slide and music from somewhere else. So we forget about this. We'll just.
And Sarah Reed has disappeared.
Oh.
Camera is still working from my side.
No.
Well.
And for some reason we have Johannes 2 times.
Yes, I had to give Ahmed Abdul access because he didn't have access to Juno, so he's logging using my account. For some reason it worked.
For the video, can you check to make sure in Google Chrome in your site settings that you're allowing Juno to share video? Go up to your Chrome settings, preferences. And then if you scroll down to privacy and security, go to site settings.
Okay.
And then just make sure the tab is allowing you to click on it. And there's going to be on the permissions, there's going to be location camera. Make sure it says allow.
Yes. Yes, it does.
It does. For Unheat, does it for you?
Yeah, now I did it. So let me see if you can see me now.
And then refresh too.
Yeah, thanks.
Right.
Still none.
No, still not.
Still none. Okay, for the source, does it say on the very bottom of the page where it has all the icons for the camera, is the source your camera?
Actually, just choose video source. It does not even give a source. Yeah. Look, it's fine. I mean, as long as everybody is visible, yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, I will see if one of our tech, we have 5 minutes. I could see if one of our tech guys can run in and see what's going on with your video.
Yeah, thank you.
Right. Now, I think if you can just use another tab or on your phone to check also on the Menti on your devices on a different tab. So you go on menti.com and the code is 5724783.
1 minute, Menti.com.
I put it in the moderators discussion, so you have directly there.
Okay.
And Radu, can you also put in the Q&A?
Yes, I will.
Okay. 5224783. 57.
Daniela, so what happened is that as the time clock ticks, the starting of the session, people will start coming in, right? We don't need to allow them in; they will just come in.
Yes, they will come in, and probably Grace will let us know when we start live, when we're live.
Also, sorry, is there a raise hand function for participants?
It automatically will go live. So if you see on the timer on the bottom, it says 4 minutes. So it'll go live then. I can also write it in the mod chat when you guys go live.
No, I think the question was the raising hands button.
Yes, it will be for participants. So if they choose to raise their hand, they'll raise their hand and it'll show up on the Q&A, and you can click, whoever's the moderator can click for them to go on camera and ask.
It will show in the Q&A.
Yes.
Okay. Guys, I'm just gonna restart the computer and see if this helps.
Okay, I'm gonna restart because I'm going to ask.
Ellie, this is mostly for you, so monitor the Q&A to see if somebody wants to raise hand. Daniela, what about the other person that is responsible for the YouTube? Is there anything we should, any interaction with her, or they know?
So that person, she's going to be like picking some questions from YouTube and monitoring the YouTube engagement, and then she will be connecting in this session and probably putting in the moderator the questions that come out from the YouTube. And
good.
Okay, shall we run through the session quickly to see if it works fine for you as it looks? So this is the waiting
just
slide.
One last thing, if I may just add, please be mindful that the session will remain live until everyone leaves the room, and that includes us, like the speakers. So when the session finishes, like, we will have to leave the room, otherwise people will still be able to see.
Okay. Right, so this is the the session objectives, the code of conduct. These are the preliminaries and technical information. Getting to know each other. This is where they can interact and put their pins, where they come from. This is the age, where they, if you see, do you see that you can actually choose something on your screen? Are you on Menti?
Yes.
Yeah, and do you see that you can?
Yes, you can select, right?
Okay, yeah, it's fine. That's what fine. Okay, just to make sure that, then we've got how many, have you mainly attended school, your feelings. This is the Reimagine Education. Okay. Then we've got some quiz time. Streets to school. Yeah. This is question 105. Streets to school. Jyoti. Oh, somebody has just joined.
We got less than 1 minute.
Yes. Okay. That's it. So if you have seen it okay, then it should be fine.
Great. We got 44 seconds.
Yeah.
Get ready.
I wish Juno would have been available slightly earlier to test it.
Yeah. But we are a golden team and nothing can stop us.
Still. I'm getting some red wine to get all the strength I need for.
I should have thought about it. 10 seconds, guys.
Yeah. In case the slides go all around, at least I have an explanation.
Hello, everybody. Hello, friends. We're gonna leave a few more moments to let people joining us, and we're gonna start literally in a few seconds. Welcome to our session. Hi, Anait. Does any of the facilitator have an idea of, oh yeah, people are joining? Do we know if people are joining?
Yes, they are.
Okay. I can hear an echo, so for those who are not speaking, please mute yourself. Thank you very much. Now I don't hear an echo anymore. I think it works fine. Hi, Valen. How am I? Welcome, friends. Okay. Okay, let us get started. Good morning and good evening, dear friends, wherever you're connecting from, both geographically and as a platform for those who are here in the breakout session of the summit, and for friends that are following us on YouTube. Welcome to you as well. I'm sure you picked up the best breakout session that is given at this time. In fact, the best breakout session of the entire summit, and I really hope you won't regret your choice. In the next 90 minutes, we'll discuss education and how the COVID crisis has impacted children and young people in their education. But most importantly, how we can bounce back and how we can bounce back together with young people. My name is Fabio Friscia. I work for UNICEF, and this session is a collaboration between the UNICEF and the Scouts. I'm having, we have a number of facilitators. The next person I will speak in a moment is Sarah Rita Kattan from the Scouts. We have Anahit Minassian from UNICEF. Say hi, Anahit. We have Radu Stinge from the Scouts. Hi, Radu. And we have Ellie Zeitlin from UNICEF. Hi, Ellie. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. And now let us move ahead with the objectives of the session. Next slide. So what are we going to do in the next 90 minutes? We're going to reflect on your learning experience during the COVID crisis. What went well, what went less well, of course. We're gonna learn from some initiatives that UNICEF and also that the Scouts have been using and experimenting with, of how young people can help education through digital and also through non-digital, through the interface of digital and non-digital platforms. Most importantly, how we can leverage these platforms and how we can leverage the talent of young people to reach the most vulnerable people of our societies. And then last but not least, we're going to discuss how we can collaborate together with young people to improve the way education is provided. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun to achieve these 4 objectives. But for that to happen, we need to engage ourselves. We have planned a very interactive session, despite the technological limitation of Juno that we have been probably already observing during the previous sessions. But the bottom line is, you need to play the game. We need to play the game. So we have been preparing for you an amount of options for interaction. Please engage, please follow our instruction, please provide us with content and answers. So I recommend that we're gonna pass in the chat and also in the Q&A at the appropriate moment the link to Menti. Menti is a platform that we can use to interact, the one that we have been planning to interact. So when the time will come, we're going to ask you to look at the link and click on Menti and go to Menti and have fun with us on Menti. Very quickly, the agenda for today. We have an amount of interactions, relatively fun, that are sprinkled all around the next 1 hour and a half. The first, let's say, more serious session is a presentation by UNICEF about our initiative, Reimagine Education, for improving education with the help of young people. We're going to have examples, again, from UNICEF from Nigeria, fantastic experiences from our colleagues. We're going to have another very interesting presentation from the Scouts about the YOTI, which is an unbelievable online, super interactive session that they started running since the COVID started. And then we're going to have a group work, a group interaction, where we're going to ask you some questions, and you're going to provide us with some answers. And we're going to take this answer very seriously for our future work on how to rebuild education with the help of young people. Now, without further ado, our friend Sarah Rita will take us along our ground rules and some technical aspects of this session. Over to you, Sarah Rita.
Thank you. Thank you, and joining us here. So as you can see and hear, explained, this session is really to be able to reimagine education altogether. And to do that, we need to start with setting some housekeeping rules. So as you know, this session is part of the Global Youth Summit. And we strongly encourage you all to explore other sessions in any of the tracks of the days of the summit. But also you need to understand that everything and everyone that is actually involved in the session and is part of their image and their audio being broadcasted. So as we know, we need to all agree on sharing our information, and that's happening in this session as well as the other sessions of the Global Youth Summit. Also, by participating in the Global Youth Summit, you have already agreed on the code of conduct. You have agreed to behave professionally, respectfully, and be culturally sensitive towards other people. We're an international, it's an international event where everyone is involved from different cultures. We need to respect each other, diversity, and use it to enrich all what we know and information and our experiences through that. So we need to, of course, actively prevent, but also engage in all program without doing anything that might be of an abusive behavior to any kind of to any person. Any harm, prejudice, or discrimination shouldn't happen in this summit. So please follow the code of conduct that we shared on the session and read it. You can have more of it, and it's very important that you follow it. We have a team. We are safeguarding everyone and making sure it's a safe environment for you to interact and to be able to participate. make sure that if at any point you feel unsafe or you witness anything that is concerning, please reach out and send an email to safe@globalyouthmobilization.org, or you can get in touch with any of the facilitators or the support team here. We really want this event. We want to create this kind of safe environment where everyone will share their experiences, and that's why we have this. Also, I mean, as you know, we talked about Menti, and Fabio mentioned how we're gonna each other, and we're gonna use menti.com. So we encourage you to use the Q&A tab to see the link, and also to ask questions at any point during the session. If you want to intervene or to say anything, please raise your hand, and we can allow you to speak. Use the emojis to express actions during the session. Feedback, we want to see you. We want to really feel that you're contributing to us. Thank you for the likes. So please do that whenever we're talking, and let us know how you feel. Listen and of others and of their opinions. As you know, I mean, this is a space to express our opinions, and it might be very different, and that's perfectly fine. That's the way we're gonna really enrich all our knowledge and or our experiences. Treat everyone equally. Report any kind, as we said, be efficient in your answers, and respect the code of conduct. So these are that we have. But again, I mean, this is the background, and now we're gonna reimagine education together. So it's gonna be an exciting journey altogether. Dive into it. Fabio?
Sarah, for the ground rules that we are for sure gonna follow very, very carefully. Now we're gonna start the real work together, and let's start in a fun way. Let's start in a way that is gonna make us feel comfortable with what we're doing. So this is the time to start connecting on Menti, and Anahit is gonna drive us through this next session. Over to you, Anahit, and please reach out to Menti.
Hi, everyone. Well, good morning, good afternoon, even good evening, good night. I see some people are connecting at 3 a.m. Wow, really, we are so honored. Thank you so much. Let's see where people are joining us from. Let's see where you guys are from. So you should be seeing a map on your screen now. And my first question to you goes about your location. So just pin, where do you come from? It's a small geography checking quiz as well. Wow, all right. Look, so many different locations. We have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need more people. Great. Very nice. Super. Thanks so much. Well, we can see that our geography is quite diverse. Let's give 5 more seconds to see where you all are joining us from. Very nice. Great. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next question. Let's find out about your age. What's your age? Are you 14 to 18, 18 to 24, 25 to 30, or like some of us here in this room above 30? Seems like for the moment, most of us are, in their late 20s. Well, the situation is changing. Slightly younger participants are catching up. Great. All right. Thanks so much. So the next question is actually about your experience during COVID times that have struck all of us. How have you mainly attended school during COVID times? 100% remote, blended, remote, and in person, no access to digital education, or yeah, school was closed. Let's see. 100% remote is trending. Oh, many of us actually did go to school, did in person. So it seems like now the majority has voted for blended. That's great to hear. It's probably also recent developments. Great. Interesting that we don't have anyone who actually doesn't vote for not having access to digital education. Thanks. Let's go to the next question. Tell us about your feelings about Covet Crisis in one word. So you can use up to 3 entries. Just go ahead and use one word to express your feeling about the COVID crisis. Overwhelmed. Once again, you can use more than 1 entry. You can use up to 3 entries. So anxious, frustrating, anxiety, stress, frustration, change, lonely, sad, privileged, responsibility, tired, fear, interesting, scary, sad. Oh, actually, for some people, it's been a time for self-discovery. We are very much interested to hear more about that. Disappointed. It's been a life-changing experience to some of us. Revolutionary. Limiting. Fatigue. Learning. Bored. Wow, so many interesting words. Thank you. Powerless. Uncertain. Sleeplessness. Yeah. Especially with so many hours in front of our screens. Thanks a lot. Thank you. And I think that's about it for the moment, but it's really great to see your answers. With this, I would like to pass the screen back to Fabio to tell us more about this exciting initiative called Reimagine Education. Fabio, please walk us through.
Thank you very much, Anahit. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you very much. Reimagine Education. The next minute, I'm going to tell you about a new UNICEF initiative, which is about building back better education, and doing so together with the help of young people. Next slide, please. So let's start with a problem statement. 2 numbers. 53% is the global average of children completing primary school who are not able, from a simple story, to read it and understand it correctly. This is like more than half of the global population. It is already per se a dramatic number, but in fact, it hides local disparities. The region that is affected the worst by this is Sub-Saharan Africa, where the percentage is 87%, which means virtually all children are not really learning much at school. So this number is represent the global learning crisis that we're going through. one of the global priorities that we should look at. What is the potential? Well, 1.8 billion young people in the world today. These people represent a crucial resource, a big opportunity for creating a better world. So in UNICEF, through the Reimagine Education campaign initiative, we want to work together with young people to build education. And we know that by doing this with young people, we are going to do it faster and better for them. Now, how will young people engage? UNICEF is planning to, UNICEF is planning to provide devices, to provide connection, to provide data, to build and provide the new different platforms for engaging with young people on education. We learned through Covet Crisis that the future is not anymore only in the classrooms. We have been learning what digital opportunity can offer us. And most of all, we want to do this together with young people, engaging them in all we do. So how we want to engage them? Next. 3 main strategies. We want to advocate with them, or we want them to advocate for change, for a better education system. We want them to help us co-creating better learning solutions. And finally, we want to rely on them to expanding access, to reach beyond, to reach in that 87% of children and young people in sub-Saharan Africa, for instance, that are not learning much the way education is provided now. Let's look at them one by one with some detail. In advocating for change, we would like young people to advocate to decision makers for a better education system. And here UNICEF has an advantage. UNICEF is an agency that is very well placed to create connections between governmental and civil society and young people movement. We want them to have a seat at the table and work together with decision makers. And then we want them to follow up. We want young people to follow up with adult decision makers, whether they actually acted upon the things that young people have been asking for. So not just saying, thank you very much, but actually, thank you very much. This is what we did because of what you asked us. Next slide, please. So once young people are actually entering in the discussion, like working with decision makers, we would like them to help us co-creating content. What do you want to learn? What is critical for you today to learn? Is it the classical curriculum that education is providing you, or is there something else that can actually help you to become a better young person, a better young leader today, and a better citizen, parent, leader tomorrow? Help us identifying what are the appropriate platforms. So we know education from now on should not only happen in the classroom, but where else? We less young people might know that, maybe it's YouTube, maybe WhatsApp, but we know this is a very fluid environment that changes the whole time. So let us help us understanding how to better reach young people in creative and efficient ways. Next. And once everything is ready, let's do the work together. So help us promoting new digital education opportunities. Social media better than any other age group. So be active on social media to reach to your peers. And then help the less fortunate of your friends, the ones who don't have a computer, the ones who don't have a connection, or the ones who have a computer, have a connection, but still need some support. And keep doing what young people normally do, just helping their friends with homeworks. Only that now we have new modalities for doing that actually can help you reaching out many more young people, many more friends that you might have been able to reach before. And then just share your devices. Some is more fortunate to have a computer that works, others don't. Or they might have a computer but not the connection. Share the connection with them. Organize study group where big numbers of people can gather around scarce number of computer and connection and data. So help us together, making reimaging a new, a different way of providing education to young people. Next. New partnership, we need to go to scale. We need to think big. So this is why we are partnering with the youth organizations. Of course, the Big Six are our first stop shop, and we are so excited to be with the Big Six in this conference. But we're looking also at other youth-led organizations. So if you are part of a youth-led organization, get in touch with us, because this is absolutely critical for us at the country level to reach scale. And I think I'm done with my presentation. Thank you very much. And now I will give it back to, I think, Anahit for a few more interaction over Menti. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Fabio, for sharing. Yeah, the main points about this great and exciting activity of UNICEF, which is yet to really fully unfold together with young people. And actually, in the chat, we already see quite important feedback about the about the connectivity, for instance, and really that's something which is really very important. As we go forward, we would like to maybe ask you a few more questions. Should we look at some more questions? So the question for you is, how do you stay connected with your peers today? And that's actually very much in line with the point raised by Prince in the chat. Let's see what our participants think. Is it really by internet that you are in touch, or you're using other means of communication? We have about 12, 14, 15 votes already. Let's see the results. All right. Well, as we can see, seems like none of us, unfortunately, is able to meet each other today. There are many of us, actually most of us, using social media to connect. SMS is still being used a lot. That's also very interesting because there's so much that we can actually do through SMS. And then video calls for those who are privileged and have good bandwidth, that's also an option. So 5 of us are actually using video calls, which makes us probably stay connected, also see each other physically. Interesting. Okay, let's go to the next question. How has COVID impacted your own learning? So we're speaking about you yourself now. So you learned less as there was no school and you didn't really have a good internet or any good device to connect. You learned more online, and you actually enjoyed being in a situation where you could organize your own learning online. You find that online learning is fine, it's okay, but you miss seeing your friends and teachers. And you connected for your online classes, but felt that many of your peers couldn't. Let's see. Yeah, interesting to see that there are people in our room who actually think that they learned more online. Most of us learned online, and but still missed seeing friends and teachers naturally. And even though you guys stayed connected, many of your peers couldn't get online. Yeah, this is a very interesting picture of what's happening. That was pretty much our idea as well, but you're just confirming it now. Thanks so much. Thanks a lot for sharing. Let's go to the next one.
So this is the real quiz. You need to start by adopting a name, and we go to the questions.
Sorry?
I'm saying that this is the real quiz. Now it's who wins, who knows more, and
all right, great. Yeah, so you need to put your name, so that we have a couple of more questions, and we will check who knows more about the crisis today. Great. So should we go? So here goes one of the most difficult questions. How many children do you think missed the opportunity to learn today? 168 million, 20 million, or 5 million? What's your answer? Meanwhile, we see lots of comments in the chat box. Thanks so much. There are many comments about the connectivity in rural areas in different parts of the world. We also have few people sharing some interesting solutions with low connectivity. All right, so the right answer is 168 million, and many of you guessed. Well done. Thank you. And with this, I would like us now to go to a very interesting country who's been experimenting a lot with reimagining education, actually, and with bringing education to young people with disadvantaged backgrounds and in difficult situations. And we have Johannes and Abdul with us, who will be sharing their experiences from Nigeria and telling us how exactly they are reimagining education in Nigeria and what is it exactly that has been already done there. So Johannes and Abdul, over to you.
Hello, can you hear me? Hi, Anahit, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, very well.
Yes. Sorry about that. Like I know Prince was saying about internet connectivity, lights just went out here in Nigeria, so that's why my video isn't on. So sorry about that. But thank God I had battery on my computer. So I'm just waiting for Abdul to come online. Yes, Abdul, you have 5 minutes to talk about your experience in northern Nigeria, what you're doing for young people, especially street children, in providing them access to basic literacy and numeracy. Over to you, Abdul.
Thank you very much. My name is Abdul from Nigeria, part of Timuda of the Generation Unlimited Youth Challenge. We actually won the award in the education category. So what we do with Street to School is provide access to basic literacy and numeracy in addition to soft skills.
Sorry, there is some echo. Maybe it's because Johannes is logged in twice. Johannes, can you please mute yourself?
Let me see.
Keep going, Abdul.
Yes. So it's still echoing. What we do is to provide basic literacy and numeracy classes for young people from marginalized communities, young people in IDP camps, young people in marginalized communities. So we mobilize youth volunteers who are mostly students from tertiary institutions. So far last year, when we piloted the learning model, they've provided 120 hours over 3 months. So the issue is, initially, our learning model was just offline, but because of the pandemic and the restrictions, we had to think outside the box. And one main issue is that the world was going digital, but our target audiences are people who are not digitally connected and or digitally literate. So we had a lot of challenges, but we had to explore other collaborative forms of learning, which was easy, reliable, and which our target audiences could still afford. So we adapted to free digital tools like WhatsApp, Facebook, which is widely used among young people, including our target audience. We created a community of 20 learners uh, in a WhatsApp group. There we share learning content in Hausa language. That's the most widely used language, and it's mostly understood by users in northeastern Nigeria. So we created a community of 20 learners. There we got positive feedback from both teachers and learners. And again, another issue is you have to motivate them to come online. These people are displaced people, and it's not their priority to get educated. They think about livelihood, not education. The education has been disrupted, so you have to come up with a lot of ideas to get them to learn. They want to learn, but that's not the priority. So we got funds from Generation Unlimited. There we used it to buy data, share it to a lot of young boys in our study hubs. There they get motivated to come online, learn. We use small bite videos to share learning content, pictures, and the voice note, most importantly, because you can communicate using the voice note, using local language. So they prefer you to use your local language so that they will be able to connect. And again, apart from the online, we have the offline version where we create in-person classes around IDP camps. So we pilot tested by enrolling 125 IDPs. 40% were females. 40% of them were female, and they had a very good attendance rate. We might want to say young girls are being deprived of coming to classes, but that's not the case. That's not the case. If you can, if you can get to them, ask them about what's the challenge, why are they not being in school, you find out, you get a lot of insights. It's not the parents not allowing them, it's just the general context. They are displaced people and education is not their priority. So we try as much as possible to let them know education is good for them and how they can use education to translate future income opportunities. There we incorporated skill acquisitions such as local handcraft production, where we buy raw materials, teach them how to make local caps. Then we put that caps in our marketing line. We sell those caps and have a little money to help them. They get free meals, and we support their education using that income from the sales of those caps. And I think that went a long way in convincing them that yes, they can be able to learn and they can be able to generate income at the same time to support their families and to support themselves. Over.
So much, Abdul. Can you go back to the previous slide, please? Yes, thank you. So thank you so much, Abdul. As you can see, it's really challenging because as we were talking, light went off and they just came back. So that just tells you the challenges that young people face, in this part of the world. power strategies, connectivity challenges, and I'm glad Abdul was really articulate in what they are doing with Streets to School. But I'm just going to give you an overview of, from streets to school, what next. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we realized that young people pretty much were very much very concerned about their future. Their learning was disrupted. A lot of them told us that they were very worried about their future. They didn't know what the future would look like, and because of that anxiety, what we did here in Nigeria, we did the COVID-19 challenge. This was an opportunity for young people to share their experiences, their fears, as well as solutions to the problems that they were facing in their communities, tackling COVID-19, but most importantly, tackling educational challenges. How can they still learn, even though their education was interrupted? And this is what led to what we call YOMA. YOMA is a youth agency marketplace, which pretty much is a digital platform that allows young people to learn and at the same time earn. So it is one thing to engage young people online, but it's another thing to motivate them, just like Abdul was saying, motivate them to be able to stay online, not just online, but offline, but also while doing that, they are either accessing courses, they're either participating in different tasks. So YOMA actually allows a young person, wherever you are in the world, to sign up on the platform. In fact, you can do that right away. It's yoma.africa. You can check that out later, yoma.africa. You get onto the platform, you sign up. Once you get onto the platform, there are different tasks that young people can participate in. It could be volunteering in their communities. It could be a hackathon. It could be providing food services to underprivileged kids, or whatever tasks are. As you complete the task, what you get are points. It's a points-based system. Whichever task you complete, you have certain points. And once you complete that task, you use those points to redeem whatever things you can redeem on the platform. It could be digital currency. It could be a certificate. It could be data. It could be airtime, whatever thing. And here in Nigeria, young people even use some of those points to redeem vouchers. So we have partners that you can actually use those points to redeem vouchers to maybe a laptop, a phone, or whatever. So yes, next slide. So what you see is what YOMA does is, wherever you are, it could be offline and offline, you can access this platform. And once you access the platform, you participate in whatever tasks you're interested in. And once you participate in them, you can now use those points to redeem your vouchers. As you can see here, in fact, we just came back from Kano. Kano is one of the largest states in Nigeria, where we were doing an offline version of YOMA, where we brought young people across Nigeria and we provided them soft skills training in partnership with Joberman. Joberman is the largest recruiting firm here in West Africa, and Joberman were able to train 500 young people, mostly students and those that have graduated from school, soft skills, because as we all know, soft skills are very critical for us to become employable. And what happened was, once they completed the soft skills training program, they were able to upload a certificate of participation, which Joberman provided to them. And based on that certificate, they were able to they were awarded a certain number of points. They are now using those points to be able to access data, to get free data, free airtime, mobile phones, computers, premium courses, which are helping them to be able to access different opportunities in other platforms. So to conclude, like Abdul said, whether online or offline, young people are able to connect digitally and as well as virtually, as well as in person. And by connecting digitally, we are able to engage young people. So if you look on my the left-hand side of the slide, you will see a young girl. So whatever thing we do, we are very mindful of equity, engaging more young girls, persons living with disabilities. So in Nigeria, we have what we call the Nigerian Youth Service Corps. It's a mandatory 1-year service corps that once you finish university, you spend 1 year to provide service to the country. So young people are deployed to communities. And once they are deployed to communities, they're either deployed to communities to teach, to to teach students basic literacy numeracy skills that deploy to communities to provide basic healthcare services if you're a medical doctor. But also, so what happens is these young people are able to access young people in hard-to-reach communities by providing them basic trainings, either literacy, numeracy skills, livelihood skills. And by doing that, these young people are motivated and incentivized through YOMA so that they can continue whatever they are doing in their communities for long-term sustainability. I think that's it from my end, Anahit, over.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Johannes, and thanks Abdul. And indeed, it was very symbolic also to have this moment of lights going off and on. This is the reality. You have lots of encouraging words in the chat, and I would actually also ask the participants, if you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome also to post them in the chat. We all are here, and in the chat we're actually able to answer to some of your questions. Thanks for all your encouraging words. And I think especially Abdul, who's, I'm not sure whether he's still with us, we'll make sure that we let him know what you all felt about his input. So
yeah, thanks, Anahit.
You're here. All right, great. Okay, so I hope you're reading what our participants are actually sharing about your input. Great. So how are you all doing till now? Because for some of you it's really late, for some of you it's really early. Can you just use the buttons, the emojis that you actually see here, or maybe just the chat, just to drop a word and an emotion? You guys rocked it. Super amazing. Very interesting. All right. Very interesting approach. I'm interested to know if this approach was also applied for formal education. Fabio asking, anyone bored? Great. Okay, doing great. Fantastic. And we see lots of likes and hearts flying over to us. Great. We're sending back all the love that you're sharing with us. All right. Thanks a lot. So maybe let's then move to another really amazing experience that Sara Rita is going to share with us. So Sara Rita, over to you to share your experience about a very nice example of youth participation via digital means.
Thank you, Anahit. So that was really inspiring, the initiative. And let's now hear a bit more about what Scouting provides also as a digital learning platform. So can we have the slides again? So basically, as you mostly know, Scouting is an movement for young people. One of the programs that we provide is a jamboree. Heard of a jamboree, if you ever participated in one, if you know what it means, send us some of the likes or write in the chat and let us know. So a jamboree is a gathering of young people, and we usually do that in Scouting every number of years. Now we have something that is actually called a Jota Joti. Slides are there, but I don't. So yes, Joti. Some people are actually talking about Joti. So what's a Jota Joti? So a jamboree, as we said, is usually a physical event that we do. But in this case, we do something called a Jota, which is a jamboree on the air, and a Joti, which is a jamboree on the internet. And that happens every year. And what we want to do with the Jota Joti is actually to create this experience where everyone, anywhere, really connect to someone else, be able to chat and exchange ideas with Scouts, have some education, and be able to share and learn from each other and from the different resources that are shared. And this happens every year. Now, if you can imagine, during the last year that we had, there was a lot of problems in meeting physically. So our Jamboree on the internet and Jamboree on the air basically went from a certain number that we were achieving every year, which was around 1 million to 1 million participants, to 5 in 2020. So it usually happens every third week of October. That third week of October, we really had the chance to have 5 million people join in this year. And sessions, we had a lot of people that were joining, and we had a special edition even that was added, and that was done in April before, so that everyone that cannot actually do the programs that they can do usually can actually join on the internet. So, and as we said before, and as we've seen in the chat, of course, different Wi-Fi connection in terms of being connected on the internet. And in this case, the Jamboree on the air, which is based on radio, is actually providing a solution as well. So some connect through the radio because it's easier for them. Some people connect through the radio because they want to learn about how the radio works. And that's also another opportunity for people to learn about different modalities of communication. So yes, exactly. I mean, as we can see, I mean, there's a lot about the radio communication that we have no clue about. And radio is also something during emergencies. So basically, what happens usually as well is that during our website of Jota Joti, and I'm not sure if you can see the slides, guys, but I think we're having some troubles with the slides. But we have a map that can actually show us the whole 3D interactive map of the Jamboree. And the idea of a physical camp, I mean, you have one place to the other and you move around. And in this map, we can see the program that is there. We can see how different non-formal educational activities, great that you can see, thank you for pointing this out. We have educational activities that are happening, non-formal education, a lot of webinars, a lot of campfires, a lot of talent shows, and we're going to see in the different slides also what kind of activities we have there. So the idea is really to create that program for young people, to support the leaders in delivering, of course, to create this we've talked about in this session, and we want also to be able to, everyone knows about communication technology, about the values of global citizenship. So at the end, in Scouting, for example, we're 57, there's a lot more in the world that are young people that can join as well. And what we try to do is really to connect people together and to make sure that they know that they can create a better world. How? By learning, by connecting, by sharing ideas, by living some of the values we have in Scouting and others. For example, you can see how we can go about the Challenge Valley, for example. Is an area where you can get some activities, you can have new challenges, you can meet new friends, and you can really connect to other people around. That's, for example, a way to have a program that can actually address different challenges. And believe me when we say we learn a lot from what happens already at national level and local groups, and that helps a lot also in putting all the information on Jota Joti. On the other side, we have, as we said, we want people in educational movement, so we want people to progress individually and progress in their own education, in their own interests, and that's how we empower young people to do that. So also, Joti provides the that would allow young people to develop 21st century skills. We're talking a bit about skills here and how much we needed to learn the skills during COVID. And of course, there's many that we learned before and we were doing anyway, but there's a lot that we learned during this year because we had to adapt and change and to the changes that were happening. So Joti Jota provides this to develop those skills, to learn about community development, to share experiences about community development, to learn about the SDGs. You can like or send hearts or whatever you want to write on the chat if you know what we mean with the SDGs. It's the Sustainable Development Goals. So basically, I see one like. So yes, there are some people that know about it. So I'm sure that you can learn more about. They're super interesting and they can really make us see as young people, be powerful, take a powerful role in changing the world, in shaping the world and shaping the future. Because exactly, I mean, we want to be global citizens and we want to impact our world around us. So, and this happens in dialogues and webinars. We translate with as many languages as we can, and we also learn a lot from the leader's perspective. Also, leaders to have access to understand what's happening and to support young people in this knowledge lab. But that continues into, of course, in making different partnerships as well that we have, and we encourage different sessions to happen to actually create that kind of awareness. For example, the World Wildlife Fund or other partnerships that we have, and we have, for example, the Earth Tribe, which is an initiative that is very much focused on the environment, on how we can really be protective of our Earth and use it in the best way possible, sustainable in the future, keep it and get inspired by it and get connected to it. So that's something that we do. Now, that is very nice, and of course it's a lot of knowledge and a lot of webinars and a lot of sessions and a lot of interaction. But we can't do that if it's not fun as well, because we have a saying that says, if it's not fun, it's not scouting. It's the same for education, right? I mean, I think everyone agrees that education. So about this, we really want to make sure that, as you can see in this picture show, is something that happens all the time. The campfires, the way people connect together over a campfire, we try to recreate that campfire during the Jyoti online, and that happens very, very, very nicely. I mean, you can really get surprised when you see that. We have talent shows. Everyone shares their experiences, what they do. Some people had talents that they discovered during COVID, and that was super nice to share with everyone, and everyone about this. So Jota Jyoti, and there's a lot that happens in Jota Jyoti. A big jamboree where everyone can join and everyone can get inspired. And I can tell you, during also this special edition that we had, and a lot of young people shared also their expertise in different topics that were interested as skills for life. I mean, not necessarily for scouting, for anything. And that was very, very interesting and very important for everyone. So you can learn more about Jota Jyoti, of course, by going to the link that site and on the slides, and you can learn more and try to join the jamboree on the radio or the jamboree on during third week of October. It's going to happen. It happens every year, and we want to expand it and reach more people during those jamboree on the internet and on the air. So I hope it was inspiring. Let me know if it gave you some ideas, if you're excited to join next year. I'm gonna go.
Thanks, Rita. This has been so inspiring. I must say that I really feel like jumping on Jota Jyoti right now. And I'm sure most of our participants really would like to explore more of it and to be part of it. And I see there are some scouts also joining the session. So you have lots of warm feelings flying also to you, also from them as well as from the other participants. Thanks so much for all your reactions. We would like to propose a few more questions to you. We have our quiz coming back, and let's see what are the questions. So let's start. So after Facebook, what is the largest global social network? What do you think? Is it Instagram? Is it WhatsApp? Is it WeChat? Is it Snapchat? Or is it TikTok? And your time is ticking. Time's up. Instagram, WhatsApp, WeChat. Well, yeah, I was so sure that many of you are going to vote for Instagram. I also thought so, but indeed, it's WhatsApp. In many countries, there are many more users of WhatsApp than in Instagram. For instance, in huge countries like India, for instance. And this is where you get your numbers from. Let's go to the next one. And the next question is about Snapchat, for those of you who are on it. So tell us, what do you think? When Snapchat was created, was the app initially called Peekaboo? Is it true or false? What do you think? Was it Snapchat or Peekaboo or anything else? True. Great. So many of you knew about it. Yes, indeed, it was called Peekaboo. Let's go to the next question then. And here it is for you. So, which country was TikTok created in? This one is really easy, so I hope you all get this right. China, USA, Indonesia, or South Africa? And your time's up. Well done. China it is. Great. And I have one last question for you. Now, this one is a funny one. So you see this image. Some of you might recognize it. Some of you who were part of it. Yeah, I see many of you laughing. So what's the tag furry potatoes used to post videos of? Haha, cute animals. Well, you are right. Many of you actually probably posted videos of cute animals and not disgusting food, bad fashion, or dance challenges. So, all right, we have people who are really using social media a lot in this room. Thanks a lot. And let's see who is the winner today. Who is the winner today? And it seems like the winner is Mariam. And love goes to on the quiz. Great. Mariam, can we try to actually see you? Let's try. Yay, we can see you. Mariam. And Danielle, can you please help us to unmute Mariam for a second? We see many congratulations. All right. Okay, so why don't we take some of the, we see that we still have some time. And before we go to a really interesting discussion that we have prepared for you, we would like to take a few of your questions. Fabio, have you picked up one or two questions for yourself from the chat? Would you like to answer them?
Yes, I did. Can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Thank you very much, colleagues and friends. I have noticed that an amount of the questions we have received, both from YouTube and from this section, this breakout section, is about connectivity. So many people are saying, yes, but be mindful of countries that, such as in Africa, where, very few people have actually access to connection. What about teachers who don't have access or do not know how to use these devices? So very importantly, very excellent questions. Reimagine Education, and again, and first of all, Reimagine Education is not the only initiative in this sense. Reimagine Education and many other initiatives are aiming at bringing devices, bringing connectivity, lowering the price of connection to places that are not served. What can be the young people role in this? I think the example from Nigeria, from our friend Abdul, is perfect. On one side, advocacy to the decision makers so that devices, connection, data arrive to the most vulnerable and less connected. And then take initiative for bringing these devices, bringing modality for low band connections such as WhatsApp, be creative as Abdul has showed us, so that these scarce devices and connection can arrive where connection is not. And let's push the boundary and get everybody connected through our amazing creativity as young people. Thank you, Anaïd.
Thanks, Fabio. And Johannes or Abdul, there were many questions for you guys. Would you like to react as well?
Abdul, do you want to go? Do you want to go first, Abdul?
Yes. Anyway, just bring it on.
Just trying to take. So Abdul, one of the questions is the issue of also provide teachers, right, have the competency to teach and interact with the students online. So how are you working with your youth volunteers, and how are they interacting with the students that that are accessing some of your services on WhatsApp?
Oh, that's a very important question. Thank you very much for that. So on the engagement, our volunteers are mostly our friends who we know, and we know they are capable of delivering. They understand the local language, they understand English. So when we do the connection, we first expose our youth volunteers to external experts that train them on how to deliver learning content in different settings, online or offline. We have mentors from Generation Unlimited. We have mentors from organizations here in the northern Nigeria, Maiduguri, Borno State. So when we want to do the connection, we first connect them to the experts. Experts train them on how to deliver content. Then we move them to the WhatsApp group. From there, a volunteer educator will have a session with a group of learners in a WhatsApp group. So he will facilitate the session using local language, mostly Hausa. Hausa is the most popular language here. So when he uses voice notes, so he presses the audio tool, starts engaging them just as the way we are doing here. Gives them a story, tell them the importance of education, then he goes straight to the business of the day. If it's about numeracy, he dives into numeracy. If it's about literacy, he dives into literacy, using practical examples, sometimes even drama. So it becomes a very, very interesting and engaging WhatsApp group. It's just like chatting with your friend. The people get involved, and learning takes place. So does that answer the question?
And just to add that most of the volunteers are graduates. Some of them are in university, some of them have graduated from school. So pretty much what Abdul does is they meet quarterly, and they with close collaboration with experts to really provide them, make sure that the content they are developing is it's updated, but it's also easily accessible. So I'm just going to answer some of the questions on Yoma. So like I said, Yoma, it's a digital platform. And one of the questions on who are the partners. So Yoma's partners include UNICEF, Butner Foundation. I think so there are a couple of partners that actually, run Yoma. But Nigeria is the first country that will be launching Yoma. And just so you know, Yoma has two different components. It has a youth engagement piece, and it also has the ecosystem of partners. So the partners are invited to get onto the Yoma platform, and the partners are the ones that provide the activities or the social impact task for young people to be able to access. So for example, Jobberman, which is the largest recruitment platform in West Africa, posted an activity on Yoma, which is on soft skills training. So young people now were able to access Yoma to be able to participate in this activity. And once they completed the activity, they were now able to redeem using their points to be able to redeem for vouchers in terms for data and connectivity and premium courses. So pretty much that's YOMA. But again, just know YOMA is an opportunity for young people to earn, to learn, and at the same time earn. Over to you, Anaid.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Johannes, for these clarifications. Thanks, Abdul, as well. There is, I think, one more question for you in the chat. So I would invite all of the participants and our speakers to carry on and to exchange in the chat as long as we all are still here for the last 36 minutes. And if you're still with us now with all your attention, we would now like to dive into some interesting discussions and use another digital learning tool, discussion tool that we have prepared with you. And for this, I would like to invite Ellie, who will join us here. Ellie also works with us in UNICEF, and she is now going to tell us a little bit more about our last part of our session. Ellie, over to you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So you got to hear a lot from us, from a bunch of different organizations and people who are working in the education space to reimagine and reinvent how we connect and learn together. And at this point, we wanted to hand the floor actually back to you all of the participants. And so Radu is going to put a screen up here. Hopefully, we'll have a QR code from which you can take a photo and log on to a new platform here. So Radu, okay, perfect. There you go. So if you use your phone, you can take a photo of the screen, and you'll be taken to Padlet, which is a collaboration tool that we'll be using to share ideas with each other. And is there a way we can drop the Padlet link into the chat as well? That way, if people can't take a photo, it's already there. Okay, perfect. Great. So if you pull up Padlet, we have some questions in here that we are curious to explore with you more. So there are just a few questions. I'm going to read them out and then give us a little bit of time to fill them out together. So the first question is, what is the most important lesson you have learned in the COVID crisis? So I know that this is probably a time that we'd all like to forget, but if there are things that you want to hold on to and remember, important learnings, tell us about those. Additionally, we want to know, what would you like to learn more and how would you like to learn it? So that's your chance to tell us if you were going to design Reimagine Education or reinvent the way that you're connecting to your classrooms, how would you like to learn? What is it that we should be covering in our content? Then additionally, we have questions. What is your favorite digital tool for learning? If you could change anything in education, what would you change? And then at the end here, we have some opportunities for you to actually tap into your own skills and use them to support your peers in learning as well. So we want to hear, how have you helped, or could you help the most vulnerable peers also learn in these difficult times? Are there ways that we can remove barriers related to gender, economic status, our remote areas, or our digital divide, our cultural realities, and social isolation? So how is it that you want to support people in their learning journeys, especially the most vulnerable? And our last column here is a place for you to drop resources that you might have as well on digital learning and other learning materials. So I already see that some people are filling in the Padlet, which is great. I'm going to give us a few more minutes. And if you haven't yet, please click on the link that's in the chat, join the Padlet, and just continue writing in your ideas. We're going to try to fill in as much of these questions as possible, and then we'll get a chance to review them and talk about them together a little bit. All right. Already seeing a lot of really amazing answers in here. This first question in particular, I think, is resonating with a lot of us on the lessons that we've learned in COVID. One's around teamwork, one's around mental health, one's around boundaries. Really amazing. So yeah, just take a few more minutes to write in here. I'm still seeing some people add stuff in, which is very helpful. We added in the Jota Jyoti link in relevant resources, which is great. So already applying some of our learnings from earlier in this session. And if for whatever reason you're having trouble entering in information in the Padlet, you can also drop it in the chat box, and one of us is happy to scribe for you so we can make additional boxes in Tablet with your ideas. And if you are done filling out Tablet and you've answered all the questions, it would be great if you could take a few minutes now to also read through other people's ideas. We want to see what else is in there. And you'll see in Tablet that there's an opportunity to add comments. So if there's an idea in here that you would like to build on or to develop further, or maybe an additional resource that goes to complement something else shared, please add that into the comments. And in that way, we can start to collaborate a little bit too. So take a minute to read over other people's ideas and add your comments. And I'm noticing as well that a few of you have also started hearting and liking the ideas that are especially resonating with you, which is so great. We get to celebrate and acknowledge others' really great ideas. So if you're reading an idea that you really love, that you want to highlight for the rest of the group, please heart it, please like it on Padlet. And in that way, we can start to see which of the ideas are the best or the strongest, or maybe have a lot of energy and momentum behind them. So please like your favorite ideas. We'll do that for maybe a minute or two. I'm also going to read through all of them now with you. Mm-hmm. Let's take a few more minutes to read through everything. We're getting some interesting discussions on Padlet too. People adding in comments. Feel free to do that. All right. You got some good ideas in there. So at this point, would love to hear from people here in the room. And if I'm curious to hear your reflections on our Padlet and what came out or what stood out to you as you were reading other people's ideas. Was there anything that felt really resonant that maybe you read a few times in these questions, felt like there was a theme maybe that was emerging in our answers? Or would also love to hear if there was something you read that surprised you, that made you stop and think differently about the way that we're pursuing education, or maybe think differently about your own experience within the pandemic. You know, we've just been talking at you for a while, for nearly an hour and a half. So the floor is yours now. If you would like to share, please raise your hand and the administrators can unmute you and allow you to share within the floor. So yeah, please share your reflections. What came out as you were reading through these Padlets? And perhaps Radu, you can help me to find the people who want to share and unmute them.
I would love to, but I think I'm as good as you are on this because I can't see any hands being raised.
Ah, okay.
So,
I do see Fariel. You somehow joined our moderator panel. Do you have something you'd like to share?
Hello, everyone. Well, actually, I just joined the panel, so I didn't know what you have talked about. So if you could provide me with a short sum up of what you had previously.
Yeah, sure. Faria, you're joining actually towards the end of the session, but we've been talking about digital learning and how the pandemic has impacted our vision and work towards connecting students around the world with digital tools and making sure they're relevant and culturally appropriate for students. And right now we're working in a collaboration tool called Padlet that we can drop back in the chat for you to add in your ideas as well. Yeah, and I saw a comment here in the chat from Zazola. I have an idea of helping 1,000 SS2 students going to SS3 and helping them to write their final exam. So just wanted to call that out. Maybe they weren't able to add it into Padlet, but we can do that.
Ellie, there is Kelly's hand, Kelly Cho. Her hand is up. The person's hand is up. So I don't know if they can do it.
Perfect. Yeah, for some reason, I can't see people's hands getting raised, but Kelly Cho, if you can go
if you go
off
to the
mute,
question and answer section.
Ah, okay.
Go to the
Here
Q&A.
we
You'll
go.
see them.
Yeah. So Kelly Cho, maybe over to you.
Yeah, Kelly is connecting.
Yeah, so this is just a short reflection from the Padlet.
Perfect.
Yeah, so one thing that I've noticed a lot, especially in the if you could change anything in education, what would you change? One thing that seems to be a very common thread is that so
Kelly, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. That seems to be a very common trend is the fact that education is too generalized in the sense that it is forcing students to conform to this big generalization, and it's not the most healthy or the most effective for a lot of students out here. You know, there's a lot of emphasis on grades. There's a lot of competition, you know, and so yeah. Someone brought up something that I really liked, and it was I would add gender studies, sociology, and psychology class in my school. People are being discriminated for many reasons: sexual orientation, gender identity, and beliefs. And I hadn't even thought of this until I read that comment, and it is very true. You know, it's not often something that you'll notice because it's not often something that's in your face, but subtle sexisms, subtle discriminations because of someone's sexual orientation, because of who they identify as, is something that is very prevalent in everyday classes at school, at least in my school. So I think that was a very good comment added. Yeah, that's all I had to add.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Well, thank you for joining in the session and for raising such an important piece of feedback in our Padlet. And it certainly seems like there was a lively discussion in Padlet on that too. And it's a topic that I think we're all learning how to be better allies in the fight for more justice, equity, and inclusion in our world. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that want to add in a reflection? Kelly got us started, but certainly she's not the only one here.
Danola, maybe?
Yeah, Daniela. Anyone else?
People are slightly confused about the raising hands function, maybe because we had few people actually raising their hands, and then while Kelly was speaking, they disappeared. So guys, if you have questions or would like just to share your impressions, we see someone. Oh yeah, here, Maria. Here you go. Yeah, Maria should appear now. Yeah, or Daniela, can you actually support us in getting the participants unmuted? Because seems like we have Amalie Papuskova who raised her hand. Oh yeah, Maria is with us. Great. Maria, you can speak. Yeah.
She somehow disappeared from my screen. If you're having trouble raising your hand or going off mute, you can also feel free to drop things in the chat.
Amalie is with us, I think.
Hello, can you see
me?
Yeah, there you go. Amelie, what did you think? What are your reflections?
Can you see me? Hello. Okay, so I just wanted to add on the I want to add on the first question. What is the most important lesson you have learned from the Covet crisis? And I saw that many people wrote that they learned how to look and care about their mental health, and I think that's really important because it often gets really overlooked, because like the adults sometimes just say, oh, you're just stressed because of school, because you're a teenager. But I think it's a really important topic to discuss, and it should be looked at more. And that's basically all I wanted to say. So thank you.
Yeah, no, super appreciate that. I think that there are a lot of really pertinent lessons that have come out of this period, and mental health and the importance of taking care of our whole body and our whole health is certainly one of them. Just looking at some of the other things that were hearted on our Padlet, we have a call out to self-improvement, and looking at how we move forward from this moment, not just try to go back to what we were doing before. A heart.
Sorry to interrupt. It's just, I think we have also Hyan, who has just connected. He managed to connect after many attempts.
Yeah. Hyan, what
Can
are
we
your
hear
reflections? Hyan, can you hear us?
Seems like no.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just.
Okay. Well, Hyan, feel free to type in the chat any of your reflections. We'd love to look at them. And as we're actually about to close out, so please continue adding your reflections into the chat. And I'm going to hand the floor back to Fabio to take us out from here. Any of your reflections, we'd love to look at them. And as we're actually about to close out, so please continue adding your reflections into the chat. And I'm going to hand the floor back to Fabio to take us out from here. Any of your reflections, we'd love to look at them. And as we're actually about to close out, so please continue adding your reflections into the chat. And I'm going to hand the floor back to Fabio to take us out from here.
Ellie, this is clear. Don't say it again. Fantastic. It's over. Thank you very much for stressing the concept, Ellie. I don't know what happened, but that was fine. Thank you very much. Colleagues, friends, I think we had a very exciting session. I mean, I think that we all experience a digitalization of education is critical, but we see here, despite we are a group of people that normally are to be considered privileged, still we had our technological issues. I think we can learn a lot again from the experience from Nigeria, what Abdul has been showing us, the importance of coming up with solutions that are digital but still simple, that use a small bandwidth, and absolutely integrating the interpersonal with the digital component. And there is so much that can be done to take the digital component to the last person, to the next mile, to do to finish the unfinished business of getting everybody on board, everybody connected. I was very fascinated by the session we had on Padlet with the input that you wrote. I have noticed also the importance of mental health, which was coming very strong, and also the importance of having more 21st century skills type of learning in addition to the traditional curriculum that the school is teaching us. This said, thank you so much for interacting with us, and sorry for not having managed to talk to you as much as we wish we could. But still, I think we did pretty well through our creativity and everybody's teamwork. As said, we are gonna, for our Reimagine Education, we're gonna use the input that you have provided to us. We're gonna take all the inputs you did on the platform and absorb them and use them for our strategies. We want to keep engaging with you. So if you are part of a youth association that can reach at scale in the different countries, please, through us, where we can, and you wish to collaborate on Reimagine Education, get in touch through your Scout connection, through our names that are somehow available with the connection on this platform, and we can help make a connection at the country office. There is so much we can do, and we cannot afford by any means to not use all the energy, all the enthusiasm, all the capacities that youth organization can bring on the table. I think that we're good for now. We really hope that we can look back in 10 years' time and say, that conference I attended back in 2021 somehow represented, a turning point for reimagining education in a way that is more meaningful for young people, in a way that reaches to the less privileged that didn't learn in the classroom, are not learning in the online sphere that we all moved because of COVID. Thank you so much. And I think that we can declare the session over. You will see that there are 9 more minutes, but that was a little mistake. The session, in principle, was supposed to close 5 minutes ago. So we found a middle ground. So thank you so much, friends. The conference continues. I hope to keep finding you around. There are networking opportunities that have been provided by the organizers. So let's be in touch. Thank you very much, and have a nice weekend. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Thanks, everyone.
Goodbye, everybody. I'm gonna exit.